Hi. Um, I did a stream on this, but I'm gonna do a normal vid. So, I was in the hospital, and I just want to quickly touch up on it. 42, basically, on April 8th, I had a bad headache at around midnight, and I called my parents saying, hey, I have a bad headache. And they were like, take Tylenol. I take Tylenol. 2 hours later, it gets worse, and it's going all throughout my neck and as well. And so I'm like, I call my parents again. They say, just call 911 and go to the hospital if it's really bad. I was also throwing up. So I wait for the ambulance and I go over to the hospital. I get admitted and I'm in the waiting room and I actually go unresponsive in the waiting room. And they did immediate action. They put me into surgery. I don't know if you can see a scar like right around here. It's a little bit visible, but I have a scar from the drain they put in my head because I had something called an AVM or an arteriovenous malformation, which basically means I had a brain bleed or an aneurysm. And if I didn't call 911 within an hour or so, I would have been dead by the morning. So I go, I'm in the CQ for God, I don't know how long, but I was in there for a while, and then I went to the pediatrics because I'm under 21, which is good. And I didn't get much sleep in the hospital. 42 days, I didn't get much sleep. It was a pain to get sleep. Um, but my parents visited quite often. I almost had someone every day. The heparin shots were terrible to get, which is blood thinners. I had to get 2 angiograms, but the first one was to help embolize the AVM. He thought usually they show you to get like 30 to 50% for the first for them. He got like 50 to 70%. He said to me and my parents, and I'm like, that is really good. But what else? I have to go into later this month for a pre-radiation gamma knife thing, CAT scan. I think it's something, but I have to do that and then go over and get the actual thing called a gamma knife or a cyber knife, which basically is a lot of radiation for two, and they're gonna be doing, and it's like a 2 hour thing. So I'm gonna be like, hey, my legs, if my leg isn't better, yeah. I also got the first angiogram also tweaked a nerve in my left leg, which kind of hurts a lot. But yeah, I have to get radiation to fully close it because if they did surgery, it would have been a lot more dangerous for me. And so yeah, so back to the hospital stuff. I am in a lot of research studies. Arctic Sun, which whenever I had a fever, they would just cool me down with like ice packs and stuff. My body did not like it though. I'm also in a research study for the next 10 years. Every 6 months, I'm gonna get a call to for researching AVMs because there's only 20,000 cases a year, and I'm 19, so it's like I'm young to be having this and everything. And so yeah, my doctor was like very kind and made sure I would got back to full health almost and was able to leave. And like the first couple of days within like the first couple of days he rarely goes down to radiation, but he went down himself to the radiology area and actually talked to them and was like, hey, this patient is going to probably going to need to get radiation treatment. Sorry, my leg. And when I was told that, I was like, oh my god, wow. Because A, I'm 19, and B, just the location of it is very dangerous for microsurgery, which would be the alternative. And then it goes from that, and then I have quite a bit of rehab to do, but that'll be done over time. And then what else do I have? Well, I guess I'll talk about the actual hospital stay. Uh, I was in the CQ with under a drug called propofol, which is an amnesia drug, and so I don't remember being in there. And apparently I didn't get much sleep, and I didn't say, and I apparently said happy birthday to my sister a lot of times because I went in on her birthday. I had no memory, but it really sucked that I went in on my sister's birthday. Speaking of family, yeah, I can't believe I had that. It was kind of scary, but at the same time, it's like I was young, and to have to deal with that is very painful. And it was kind of stressful on my parents to go to where I was, which was like nearly 2 hours away almost every day, and they didn't want to leave me alone every single day, especially when I went to pediatrics, because I was like, I want to walk because of my leg, and there are no nurses around to help me walk all the time. But I was able to start walking on my own at one point, and then made it so I didn't have to like call them every single time I needed to go. And then, but it took them also a while to get me over to the rehab hospital just because they couldn't find a bed. Then the rehab was, oh my god, a pain to do because my neighbor was very loud and would call the nurses a lot. But luckily she didn't. She would stop at night, and then I also had headphones and just used them at one point, and I'm like, oh my god, I don't want to listen to her. It was just it was scary for my parents because I was maybe about an hour or two away. Well, I think when I went unresponsive, that's when, and they started to be like, oh my god, like if I didn't call when like I went unresponsive within like 40 minutes of calling 911 or something, or with like I know it was within an hour, so it was like I had like an hour from when I called my parents again to then to call 911, and if I didn't, then I was dead. But yeah, here I am now, okay, and alive. What else? I have to walk every day now because of my leg, but other than that, life is hard, and I'm just letting you know, if you're young, you're not immortal. And I experienced it firsthand. Treat yourself well and make sure you make the call for 911, because I did, and it saved my life. And see you in the next video. Bye.